Is a costly one or not costly?
What do you mean?
Is a costly?
No. 100 euro. It's already used, not a new one. Yeah.
From where I will buy that one?
From eBay.
eBay.
Actually, from eBay. Yes. Yeah. I think Hi Nasir, nice to meet you for the interview, and very much very big thank you for your time. Yeah. Let's start. First of all, who are you?
Basically, I am a political activist.
Yes.
From the left side of the political spectrum, and I involved in the left movement for the last 4 decades. And at the moment, my identity is a trade unionist for the labor side, and in the labor side from the left side of the trade union movement in Pakistan.
Okay.
So I am the General Secretary of National Trade Union Federation, which is affiliate with the Industrial Global Union, and we have the relationship with the Global South and Global North with the different labor movements and the trade union movements over there.
Okay, we're gonna come to this afterwards.
Yeah.
First of all, how can I imagine how is the situation in Pakistan for the workers, for their rights?
If you say that in one word, so you can say that the worker situation is very worse,
Yeah.
from bad to worse, and actually the workers are wage slavers.
Okay.
They are the slaves, like in a modern day slaveries. So you can bifurcate into the workers who are producing for multinationals or international brands,
Yes.
or they are producing for the local consumptions. Everywhere the situation is same one.
Okay.
So that is the one liner for that one. But when you go to the in a deep, you can say that around 80 million workforce in Pakistan. 80 million, 80. 80. So out of which only less than a 1% workers are unionized. They don't have the.
Okay.
So it means that 99% workers don't have the right to form the union. So they are ununionized. So they are precarious workers.
So how comes that they don't they don't have unions? Are they?
Yeah, there's one is within the system there's a problem.
Yes.
That is the one. The other one is material condition of the Pakistan, political material condition of Pakistan. Material condition was that Pakistan is you can say that a launching pad for the imperialism
Okay.
in the whole region.
Yes.
So Pakistan have a military alliance with the US imperialism and the European governments. They do the project against Soviet Union in 1978 in Afghanistan. They do organize the Mujahideen against that government. Then they support the Taliban. They support the Osama bin Laden. So that was in that context when they have the extra border territorial kind of a concept to do that one, so they have to stop the voices of and kill the voices inside the house.
Okay.
Just like in Pakistan. So that's why whenever there is a martial law, military regimes, they first attack the trade unions, students and the left movements. So for the last, there are the 4 martial laws or military coups in Pakistan. So every time they stop to the workers movement and they crack down on that one. So that is the one reason. Yeah.
Okay, maybe to make it more concrete, I heard about the thing going on with the Pepsi fabric in Pakistan, and they had protests because of the working conditions and because
In which, where?
the Pepsi.
Pepsi Cola.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, everywhere the situation is that you see that 95% workers don't have the written contracts.
Okay.
In a law, it is a mandatory, but it's not. So if the workers don't have the appointment letters, they can't form the union. Because if they go to form the union and submit their documents in the labor department, which is responsible for registration of the union, they come back to the company and they say that, oh, these workers are your employees or not employees. They said they are not our employees. So they sack them from their jobs. So when they go to the court, they don't have the identification and they don't have the proof and the evidence to prove that they are the employee of that establishment of the company. So that is the one reason. So that's why the unionization process is a very, very weak and fragile in Pakistan.
So maybe it's like the result of this, not like having a concrete contract. Like, is it that they maybe keep, like the companies keep paying for themselves and not pay the workers?
Yeah,
Yes?
that is so. When the workers don't have the identity,
Yes.
if the workers don't have any evidence about employment with that any company, so it means that then hide everything, avoid everything. I mean, they are not receiving minimum wage. They are not registered with the social security or pension schemes. They don't get overtimes, double overtimes. They don't get a paid holidays. They don't get a gratuity. So all things are related with the appointment letters. So they don't give them the appointment letters. So there are the system, we called it in Urdu or in a Hindi we call it a thekedari nizam. Is a third party contract system.
Ah, yes. Okay.
So all the workers recruited through a third party contracts.
Who are the third parties?
Might be as a company
Yes.
or might be a person.
Okay.
Yeah, both. But so it means that they recruit, but they even don't give them the even these companies and the person don't give them the workers written contracts.
Okay.
So if there's a problem, so the company says that, oh, these workers are not my employees. These workers are employed by another one.
And the another one is then the third party who is not under the law of Pakistan.
Is illegal. Is illegal. Supreme Court of Pakistan have given a verdict against it, but it is there.
Okay.
The problem, laws are a good one.
Yes.
In Pakistan. Pakistan has ratified around 38 ILO conventions,
Okay.
out of which 9 the core conventions they are also ratified. So they don't feel it a problem. Okay, give us, they ratify that one. But because they know that they don't want to implement that one. For the implementation, they need a democratic institutions, need a labor movement, strong labor movement, which is not there, unfortunately.
What is missing for maybe a big movement for the laborers, for the workers? Yeah. What
I
is
think
missing?
that is not only a Pakistan phenomenon.
Yeah.
It's a trans-border phenomenon. It's a global phenomenon. Yeah. So lot of reasons are there.
Okay.
Because overall, I think that right-wingers are very strong everywhere. They are popular politics, popular slogans. Yeah, with the right-wing approaches.
Yeah.
Now they are dominating the politics, and so in that context, left-oriented politics, which is directly related to the trade union movement, is weakened everywhere. Not in Europe, but in North America also, and in the South also. That is one big problem. Is that one? So that is the era. That is the era. We can say that is a counter-revolutionary era at the moment. That's why. But to survive in that moment, to speak clearly about the political dimension of the problem and the onslaught of the capital. The exploitation of the capital is a very naked one as compared to the one 50 years ago or 1 century ago. Now everybody know about that one. What from the left side we are talking about, we say about the international institutes, what the governments are doing, what they are, how they are fanning the wars in the different regions. Everybody now talked about that one. What the agenda of the left, everybody know that one. But the problem with the left was that, and the trade union movement was that, is that at the moment they are not the organized, and the workers and not they are not in a quantity, they are not with them. That is a big problem.
So the companies have too much power.
Yeah, much power, and they have departmentalize and compartmentalize the movements. Yeah.
Okay.
So just like 40 years ago or 4 or 5 decades ago, every problem have a one holistic approach about the thing. If there is a apartheid, a racism,
Yes.
and if there is anti-migration policies, if anti-workers policies, if against sexual and religious minorities, so all were in a one shape, and they know that who is the real enemy. But at the moment, every movement is segregated,
Yes.
alone. If there is a migrants movement, the workers are not standing with them.
Yeah, it's not a big fight.
Is not a united
Yes,
fight is
yes.
there. So is a crisis of left movement. Crisis is that of identity crisis at the moment.
Yeah.
Because if women's right, feminists, they are working alone.
Yeah, for themselves.
So themselves, and nobody, and the trade union don't care about that one. If the trade union are in a movement, just like they are on a strike, the famous don't have that kind of pain in that for that one. That is the issue. So is like a climate issue. But you see that all these are the mother of all these crises is the capitalism.
Yes.
So if you don't have an alternate and a political dimension of all the things with the holistic approach, you act locally is fine. It is the only way. You act locally, but you have a holistic approach and a global approach about the problems.
You're talking about global approach. I would agree, but I thought about how is it with, like, how to form an international workers' union when you have different economic zones.
Yeah, but on one way, it's look like different economic zones. But when you peep into deeply, you will look that it is all is interlinked.
Yeah, of course.
Just like whatever you are wearing,
Yes.
from where it's come. It's come from the south.
I guess. Yes.
Yeah. So there are the unions, there are the workers' right movements, there are the labor right movement, there are human rights movements. So if they take the issue, the clothes where it is produced, there should be some kind of labor standard and the workers' right.
Yeah.
If we have that kind of understanding, then we have some kind of a solidarity for that one. Because you see that a capital is a transborder, yeah, and multinational kind of is a global crisis,
Yes.
and a global problem everywhere, yeah. So the fight is also a global one. So we have to realize that one. So till now the objective condition are not there, but subjectively we have to understand that one.
Yeah, and first of all, we have to understand that we're working all together.
Yeah.
And not, as you said, everybody within their own group and everybody within their own struggle. Yeah, there is struggle, but you only have to look. Okay, yeah, you have your own struggle, but where are you working? What are your working conditions in your own country, in your own? Yeah. The question with the different economic zones comes from, like, for example, I talked with a friend from France, and he's working on the Navy, and he always tells me, the big ships, the big cruise where you have your where you can book a holiday and something right over the big sea. there you have the case that most of the time the companies are coming from USA, Europe, etc. But most of the workers are coming from the global south or from Asia.
To work in that field, in that cruise.
Who are working on the cruise.
Yeah.
And this is a big problem. Therefore, I say different economic zones because, like they, as my perception goes, it's you have an economy, and you have a certain product and you produce it on low cost. So you need. Or you get labor from people outside, but you are saving your economic zone because the amount of money they earn, it's too less to really live in the country they produce.
There's a surplus value.
Yes,
is exploitation. Yeah, but you see that there are some examples, just like it's related with the Germany. You said that in 2012 there was a factory fire in Karachi, in which 260 workers died, and that factory was producing a garment for a German brand.
Yes,
it's called a KIK, Kick.
Kick. Yes.
Yeah. So workers not only fight over there in Pakistan for their rights, and they were successful in that one, but they also file a case in Germany, in a Dortmund. Where the Kick's headquarters.
Yeah. Did they won?
Yeah.
Did they won?
No.
No.
For 5 years they were in a case, but in a Germany-like country, industrialized country, there was no law to sue that company.
There was no law.
No law to sue that company, the company who committed a crime outside of Germany.
Okay.
So that their law was not there. So now after that, there were some our comrades over here and labor and human rights group, they support us who file a case. But then there is a debate.
Okay.
We know that the law is not there, but we start the debate. Okay, 260 people died producing for a German company, and it is consumed by the German people. So they have to look into that one. So there was a huge cry in the parliament and everywhere. So different groups support us. And after you see that 10 years of our struggle, now in Germany there is a law. We call it a due diligence law.
Yes.
Which make brands who are selling their products over here accountable for whatever they do in their anywhere in the world. Still this law is legislation is less than our expectation, but we think that is a first step in the right direction. So in that country, this was a global south and global north unity, and it produces some results. And because of the law over here, legislation over here, now European Union is also discussing on it to have a due diligence law like that. So in that context, as you say that there are some examples, and now we are using that example, and we are going to file a case. We are collecting our data. We are going to file a case, some fashion brands over here in Germany, to use that law. Because in the factory who were producing the garment for these brands, workers were not paying all their due rights over there. And also we are going to file a case for the climate issue. Because in Pakistan last year there was floods and rains. So around 38 million people were displaced. Fields were cotton fields and wheat, and all the crops were destroyed. So it's a huge damage of around $35 billion. So we are looking into the ways how to sue the fossil fuel companies, especially the German one.
You heard about the case with Steven Donziger in I think somewhere in Latin America.
So that is so. I think that now the things are moving. So it's a good one.
I have one more question. I thought about yesterday, like preparing for this. this interview, I thought about, okay, you have these different economic zones, and as I mentioned, with you or the Western companies, they produce somewhere else, and they don't really care about the workers. Like, why isn't it? How realistic is it for the future that if, as a Western company or as a company in general, you produce in, doesn't matter which country, but if you produce with them and get profit out of their labor, then you have to take care of their health, and then you have to take care of just basic rights.
Yeah, you see, it required because if the problem is a global one, it required a global solutions. So we think that just like if you have in Germany you have a law, in Pakistan we have a law. Somewhere law is very applicable and in a practice. In some countries laws are there but not a practical. In a practical.
Yes.
So in that context, I think that a global binding laws are necessary to make them accountable from the global level. Yeah. So in that context, wage structures, social security, pensions, and all these things will be covered in that one. Allowances and all things will be covered in that one, and it can be happen. It can be do because if they are many of our companies are transprovincials. If they are German based, but they are going to just.
I leave now.
2 minutes.
Okay.
So that is Okay. So in that context, I think that global kind of structures are required. So international global movement for the trade union and labor rights, they are speaking for that one.
So we can say that every protest for the rights of yourself is a protest for the rights of
all.
Yes.
If somewhere some workers win, or a marginalized, vulnerable section of society win, is a win and encouragement for the others to that one. So I think that a society is going towards that one. That phase, right-wing kind of onslaught will be reduced, and from the left side and the pro-worker side will be increased. That is what.
Let's hope. Let's stay positive and keep fighting. Yes. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. I just said
perfect.